Do you have holiday travels coming up, but are dealing with either achy joints or muscles that are causing you pain? Then stay tuned for my favorite mobility tools while you're on the go. Hi everyone, Floyd Meyer here. Now, most of us have dealt with either achy joints or some type of muscle pains. And unfortunately, many people have just not been taught the basic strategies in order to take care of these things, in order to decrease their pain and improve their functional range of motion. And especially, even if you have figured this out while you're at home, what do you do when you're traveling like so many of us are about to do for the holidays? Now, I want to point out that if you specifically have been dealing with some type of a chronic pain, meaning that this is something that has lasted longer than 30 days, I would highly recommend that you seek out a good therapist, someone that can effectively evaluate what is going on and prescribe you some type of a functional rehab program. And this is something that I personally do when I'm at work in an integrative physical medicine and rehab office working as a PA. But for those of you that are looking to, tackle this by yourself, if it's something that hasn't been very long standing, or you just want to, try something yourself and see how that goes, then I would highly recommend looking into Kelly Starrett and Mobility WOD. So Kelly Starrett is a world-renowned physical therapist and strength and conditioning coach, and this guy is the real deal when it comes to both movement, mobility, and improving your strength and your range of motion. And he has a fantastic website called Mobility WOD, W-O-D, and he has literally thousands and thousands of videos that you can get for free online. He also has a paid service if you want some more specific prescriptions, but he has tons of videos that can show you how to use all of these different devices, all of these tools, different mobility stretches, routines, and it's something that I personally have been used for many, many years with good success. Now, let's get into the actual tools that you are going to need in order to improve your mobility. Basic stretching is great, but sometimes we need a little bit more than that. So by far, my favorite tool is going to just be getting a simple lacrosse ball. So these things can be extremely effective for working into areas that are extremely tight. Many times these are trigger points or areas of very tender tissue, and you can work into these areas, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to find those spots that are very, very painful, and then you're just going to hang out there and just take deep, deep breaths. You can do simple techniques like contract, relax, where you contract your muscles and then you let them go, and you can usually go a little bit deeper. And working on these areas can be very effective at decreasing your pain and improving your range of motion. Now, if you are specifically working on areas like your feet or on your spine itself, a very effective strategy is to get 2 of these lacrosse balls and tape them together like I've done here, and that can be very effective for those areas specifically. But I do want to point out, because the holidays are coming up, that you need to be kind of careful. One time I actually brought this through and TSA pulled me aside, and they were really questioning me, asking exactly what this was, because the TSA really doesn't like it when you take 2 lacrosse balls and tape them together with duct tape. So just a word of caution, if you just bring a single one, it should be no problems at all. Now, my second mobility tool that I love and I always travel with is going to be a foam roller, and specifically one that has a hollow tube like this one. So foam rollers have become extremely, extremely popular lately, and it's no wonder. They have so many uses, but many times people think that foam rollers are, well, for rolling, but really that's not what they're best used for. You should think of them more as tools to improve your mobility, either using them similar to a lacrosse ball, where you're going to roll until you find those areas that are really tender, and then just hanging out there and breathing and really working into those muscle knots. Also, you can use it for things like global shear and just improving range of motion, especially on your thoracic spine, opening that up, and in your hip flexors, working on those areas, because with the holidays coming up, we're going to be traveling, and so you're going to really need something to mitigate all of that sitting that we are about to be doing. Like I said, the plus for this type that has the tube is that you can fill the tube with either t-shirts or socks, and it actually takes up very, very little space in your luggage. Now, my third mobility tool that I would highly recommend you guys all get is to get a band, and specifically get a door anchor that you can put on the band. And so mobility bands can be extremely effective. You know, they are a very good way of getting your joints in proper positioning and also improving capsular range of motion. So we have joint capsules, and these bands can be very effective at improving that range of motion specifically. And if you have the door anchor, you can basically use these anywhere, so you don't need to be at a gym where you have something really heavy to tie this down to. You can basically put these into any door frame and just shut the door, and then you can do your mobility work there. So this is very good if you're traveling, if you're in hotel rooms, things like that. This can be very, very effective. Now, I hope that this has been helpful. Again, for more specific, instructions on how to use these different mobility devices, I again would highly recommend look up Kelly Starrett, look up Mobility WOD. He's got tons and tons of videos out there that you can easily find exactly how to use these devices, or you can look up his book, which is called Supple Leopard, where he goes into extreme detail on exactly how to use these different tools on different parts of your body. So I hope that this has been helpful. If you guys have any questions or things that you would add to this list, let me know in the comments below. So again, this is Floyd Meyer reminding you to move better so that you can do more.